I brought it with me. But the modem I have is really stupid because I only wanted internet, I didn't want cable TV, I didn't want phone, and then they came and they were like, we're here to install free, and I'm like, no, you're not going to do that.
Love those titles.
But the only modem they had with them was one that has like works for like the phone and stuff because they were trying to make it to where I couldn't just sign up for what I had actually asked.
They really wanted me to take phone service or cable TV because they're like, oh, it's free. It's literally free. And I'm like, no, I don't need those.
I showed up to the Bright House office from the Winter Park area with my modem. Like, I bought this modem. It is on your approved list. You're supposed to be on for only internet, and you are not giving me any.
But you are allowed to have your own modem. They kind of hit that fact for a long
They
time.
do.
But you are allowed to have your own DOCSIS or whatever compliant.
Your own modem, and it's a separate device from my router.
I have DSL, which is slow but reasonably reliable. It just keeps chugging, but it's slow.
That's what my mom has.
Kentucky, thank you for making me feel good.
Well, it's okay. You're on the edge of
I'm
civilization.
in modem Tucky. Because you know, you
Yeah,
put Tucky on the end of any
better
word
than,
to make it sound bad.
That's better than my friend in Maine who still has dial-up internet.
Oh yeah. In Maine, you probably have to get satellite in those places.
Yeah, man. Nothing going to the woods there.
His smartphone is like blazing fast internet compared to his regular.
My sister-in-law used her phone for most of this stuff.
Yeah, these days, if you were up that remote, you're probably better off just buying a huge data plan for your phone and tethering.
Yeah.
It's probably good enough for Netflix.
That's all that counts.
I don't know that he even has good enough for Netflix up there.
Well, the selection of movies on dial-up Netflix is much more limited.
All right. It's 7:12. So, welcome to Python, everyone. Yay! Yes. Most of the people who are here that were not here last time, but we have about the same size, so this is going to be great. Catch you up on last time, we started a Flask application. If you're not familiar with Flask, it is a micro web framework that's designed that uses Python as its native language. Other the more popular web framework and the much larger one is Django, which most people have also heard of. There are a couple of other smaller ones like Model, and they're just designed to be very lightweight. You can put them on. I've seen someone put Flask onto this really small Arduino-like device that was able to handle like CircuitPython kind of stuff, and it's able to do it. So Flask is really micro-framework friendly. Last time we got it set up, the basic folder structure, we got our database running, we designed it using SQL Alchemy, and we started to implement an API so that we could add and read things from our database.
Should we maybe do a short walkthrough of the code that's already up there on GitHub?
Yes, in fact. I have here actually, let me quickly, again, we're live streaming this, and I have a placeholder up because we're getting fancy. And now it should actually be, oh, by the way, anyone who's up here working at the computer, your face is going to be in the little tiny box on the live stream, so just be aware of that.
Is it going to be that on fire? Oh, God.
It's right here. But it's just going to be tiny.
To never watch any of the live streams.
No, we never will watch any of the live streams. Don't worry.
We don't even know
Only other people will. But showing the screen, the code is on GitHub. We have a GitHub organization, Orlando Python, and this one should be the first repository up on that list because we updated it most recently, which was 24 days ago. And I actually will I'm going to go through the setup for anyone who's just downloading this on their computer, because I deleted the repository because I was doing cleaning, and now I need to rebuild the database. Yay! That's okay. That'd be great for people following along. And so, Orlando Python, Flask Mob. Puns, yay. This looks like a lot, but really our code is just living in here. You can ignore the migrations folder entirely, and there's really only three. I guess you do your pip install requirements.txt. Just take a quick look at that. Actually, okay, we'll just do this. Flask RESTful, which is what we're using our API, using for our API right now. Flask SQL Alchemy, which is how we are building our database, or designing our database, and SQL Alchemy Migrate, which is how we are both creating and updating the test database as we update the code. I'm going to go back, and here's our page. We have our very, very short setup and running, but I'm just going to switch over to our actual code because this computer, most of the network is pushing out the live stream. So, the first thing you would need to do if you were to download this right now would be to run, other than installing requirements.txt, which you can do, I'm just going to pull up the README. README pip install -r requirements.txt that installs all the dependencies, and then run Python db_create. Don't worry about understanding this, just know that it reads our API over here, and then builds an SQLite database, local SQLite database, based on how we have designed it. And then lastly, we use run.py to actually run our server, and we have it in debug mode, so whenever we update a file, it will restart the server and we'll see our changes live immediately. So that's what we have. Let me quickly do our...
So Michael, if you're setting it up for the first time, you don't have to run any migrations?
Nope. So we have db create, which actually builds the library from anew, as though we don't have a database yet. Migrate would be used when we've already run db create, and then we go into our API here, and we add a new thing. We have this new thing. We then have to run db migrate to update the actual database itself before we can run the application. So Python already installed the requirements, so we just need to do db create. They're giving us deprecation warnings. That's just because Flask redesigned how they do their extension importing, and not all the libraries are up to date yet. Don't worry about it. And then all we should need to do now is Python run. And over here, should be able to go to localhost 5000. Hello, Elkpug, for the sake of being programmers. Our site is up and running. Let me actually make this a little bigger. Yay! So this is at our index. And now for a quick recap of I think we only have 2 endpoints on here right now. We have... let's actually start at the beginning. This is our initializer. This is the core of the application. We have the actual application initialized here, saying where our database is, and then actually initializing our database object. From there, we import the other aspects of our application, and the reason why we break from normal Python convention and have an import after regular code is because our views and our API import app and or DB, so they have to be initialized before we can import the other files. So let's go into to views quickly because it's very short. So here's our line importing the app, which means that our importing this file had to come after initializing app. We say at our blank or index route, this is going to be this function, which has to return a string of some kind. And here we just return hello OPUG for the sake of being programmers. And as you can see, we're at our index here on our service web application, and we see that exact same string. Views are where we're going to put the actual HTML content that any of our users would actually see in their browser. On our API, some people would actually take something like Pokemon and Pokemon nap time and have them in a separate folder file called models. But here we have them in the same one because we're just trying to get something up and running. So we create an API, which we're getting from Flask RESTful, and we looked at how to add things last time on how to add resources, and we were able to go to this last time and get a Pokemon because copyright reasons, and pull out a Pokemon by their name by string. I don't believe we currently have anything in there, so we should probably start this off by creating a little test script to either be an actual test file or at least add some example Pokemon into our database.
Would it not make sense to make a form page where we could make those additions?
We absolutely can.
Because I think last time we successfully were able to add
Oh.
one to the database, right?
That's right.
And so
Yeah,
now
that's
that
how we
we
did
know
that.
that our database is working okay, I think the next step would be to go on and make a form
Okay.
to add like a post route.
That's a good idea. Yes, yeah, I completely forgot. So to break this down just a little bit more, this class right here is essentially creating a table in our database called Pokemon extends db.model. And in this table, we have 3 columns, ID, name, and color. ID is our primary key integer. Name has to be unique as a string. Color is also a string. And there's a bunch of things we were thinking about last time, but we have this list here. When we initialized, this is essentially us creating a default value for color. And we just set name is name, color is color, and it automatically gives it an auto-incremented ID. And then for printing things out to the console, we just have this repr. I forget what it actually stands for.
Representation.
Representation. That's exactly what it is. So we have that this is actually what is creating our database currently, which is one table. And then we have Pokemon nap time, because REST API, is a resource. And when this is setting up our get, post, put, delete different REST API calls. And you get that just by setting the name of the function. So on get, it will query for name and just get the first thing. And this is just a little bit of response cleaning. And then we return a JSONified version of our result dictionary. On our post has to have a name and an optional color. And we create a new Pokemon, we add it to the session, as long as nothing went wrong, it commits. Otherwise, we roll it back and we raise an error, and then we return success. And this API resource, like Flask views, has to return a string. And then the last thing we do is add a resource to a particular endpoint of our API. So that's everything that we did last time. So the first thing that we want to do this time is to add a form so that we can hook into our backend database here and add some Pokemon to our database.
Quick question. When it auto increments the ID, does it just do that on its own? Like, is that just Python magic?
Yeah, well, so SQL Alchemy takes care of that for us.
Okay, technically, it's not magic, it's alpha.
That's a science.
Okay, so for those who were not here last time, or those who have never done mob programming before, Devin,
Explain how mob programming works?
yes, you've done it way more than I have.
So mob programming, the concept is that someone is at the keyboard and that mainly other people are directing them what to do next. So anybody can say what they think that someone should be typing next. So the idea is that to be up at the keyboard, you actually don't have to know everything that needs to happen next. So it gives everybody a chance to code, and it gives the peanut gallery a chance to debate how we should make this app. And so in creating it together this way, it turns out usually much different than what any one of us might do by ourselves. So who wants to be the first test subject?
I'll go. Nobody
You can go.
Unless somebody new wants to.
That was way more enthusiasm than last time.
You guys got me up.
So, while I'm up here and have the bully puppet, I would like to show a very, what's it? So, to kind of steer it just a little bit, there is, if you haven't heard of it before, there is a library called What the Form, Flask WTF, that makes adding forms really easy. It takes care of the posting for you, and adds in a bunch of things like this field in the form is going to be a radial with the following options. You give it a list. Another thing, like for the form itself, the form is actually handled as a class, and you can give it, okay, here's a class, go ahead and take this function to check all the values that were inputted into my form, so you can do at post-time form checking.
Validation, okay.
Yeah, validation. Yes, that's the word. Oh, and I forgot this. It also makes it really easy just to add a reCAPTCHA by putting in a Boolean.
Okay.
So, let's take a look at this quick start guide. I think it should already be installed. Let me double check. Oh,
good thing we did that.
Okay, it's updating. So while that's going on, we can take a look at this, and let me increase the size there. There you go.
Yeah, it's good for everybody else up there. And then, all right, we're gonna do quick start. I'm gonna go here to creating forms. Oh. All right, so I'm guessing the first thing we want to do here is import.
in our file, or create a new file and import this stuff in there?
Do we have a file for the views yet?
We have for the views.
I stop. Are we calling? Or how are we structuring this?
We have a directory for the views, and we have
I think
What do we-
we
what do
only
we-
have a file for
just a
views.
file.
We should add a new file
Mhm.
back over the file directory called forms.py, and then from our views we can import the forms that we need from forms.py.
I want to do this in this Flask Mob one, right?
Yeah, so just the new file.
We put them in works.
No, that will need to be added.
So forms.py is what I'm going to name this little number.
Yeah.
So we haven't done anything with it yet. We
Right.
haven't had a reason to
Yeah.
report.
Right, and that's good. And
Depending on how much we do, I don't think we may get to this point, turning views.py into a folder that has an init, maybe a couple of view classes, and then a folder for static content, or templates and stuff, but that's down the pipeline.
all right, Mob, so what do you think? Should we go ahead and add this stuff right here? Import some stuff in there?
What information do we want to get on that form?
So
I think we
it
should
looks
have like
like,
name string right now. The name and color are the only things we define as properties right now.
They'll get name, that could will. So,
so it looks like string field is just like a text
Yeah,
that you're
Yeah.
importing.
that would work for me.
So
So,
that's the only sort of data that we have so far. We have names and colors which could be imported that way. Or I don't know if there are other fields in WTF form, like drop downs and things. That
yeah, there
we may
are.
not actually want to give people infinite
Yeah.
options for colors, but
well, if
string
as long as
is a
it's just
place
us
to
right now,
start.
right?
In our database, we made color an optional attribute. So for the sake of getting it working,
Just do
we
the
can
names.
yeah, we can copy that whole thing and then
Yep.
just change the name myform to add Pokemon.
Mhm.
And
For colors.
yeah,
Oh yeah, we want to start with that. I'm going to copy and paste, and hopefully that works.
and then when we get this working, we can add the drop down for color. Oh, we'll actually have to start working with Jinja 2. Yeah,
All right.
so it should be fun.
So remember, we have to have semicolons at the end of every line, right?
Nope, not Python.
I don't know.
Try to joke. It didn't work. Whoops.
It lets you do it though.
Like you're right, kick your butt.
If you're in a real, if you're in a real Python GUI, it will line up every line.
Yeah. So this little number right here.
I've done this.
Like, why are you?
Well,
doing JavaScript?
so that's actually good code because we probably want to add a validator later.
Later.
Like,
Okay.
what this validator is currently doing is saying that this field cannot be empty.
Right.
Oh.
then
Okay.
You have to fill it out.
So when we get to the name, and then do we
Yeah, so this file is done as is right now.
right? Because it's just name. We're not going to add the color or the other thing in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll see this work when we get back in.
yeah, let's save that and go back to the docs because we need to start working with HTML in order to
Yeah, I was
actually
gonna
embed
say,
it.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
let's see the equivalent of-
So note. Okay,
Oh,
this
yeah,
looks
it
somewhat
creates a
familiar.
hidden token field for us.
Can everybody see that fine? Everyone over there?
Yeah.
All right, cool. It's not too big or too small. All right, there's gonna keep scrolling through it.
No, we need to go
Back.
We need to take a look at that first HTML block.
Okay, this guy right here.
Yeah, because
So,
we're actually going to need to start working with templating.
Okay, so we have this form stuff right here,
Yeah.
telling us format that gets post action.
So copy that.
Yeah. Do we want to do that? We want to make an HTML file for this, or
Yeah, we definitely need to do
so
that.
where are we putting,
yeah, should we put it in a new folder?
We should put it in a views folder under Flask Mob, I would think.
Yeah,
Okay.
that tends to be the better way to do it. So let's make a new folder, we'll call it views.
Whoa.
All right. Should I move this views.py in there?
Yeah.
No, leave that there.
No.
It
no,
might
no,
mess
no,
some
that
stuff
can,
up.
That can go in there because then we just rename views.py to init, and the imports are all the same. And now we have a folder that contains our actual view.
Okay,
Python
so
code,
we could do that.
and then-
I think that's a little obnoxious, but we can do that.
And then, like, if we had something imported from views.py, would that mess anything up? I know we don't right now,
No,
but
as long as that file name gets changed to init, the underscore init underscore.
inside of this thing right here, so we
Yeah.
can go.
Hello, world.
How do you right click? Okay.
Audio works.
Underscore init underscore. Cool. And now we want to get an HTML file in here too.
Well, let's actually add so inside of views, let's add another folder
Cool beans.
and call it templates.
Hey, this
And
looks like
then
this
inside of
project.
templates, we can have Pokemon form.html.
Yeah.
No magic extensions for Jinja?
Nope, Jinja gets imported from Flask. Unless you're doing something special with it, and sometimes you do, you can get away with this from Flask import render underscore template and then take care of it for you.
Okay, so it's not like you want to do a special extension so your editor knows what you're doing. But
Yeah.
Now we do want to have this wrapped in an HTML tag.
Not, for now we can, but we should take a look at the template rendering after this form so that we can have the stuff
you
around
can have
it.
your
Is it-
layout, we'll call it
Yeah,
layout.
we're
Yeah.
gonna need a layout eventually.
So we can come back to this later.
All right, cool. So now we want to do what again? I'm sorry.
So,
We want to save that first.
go on, so, and forms.
This and where are we? Forms.
So do we have to do anything to set up CSRF stuff? Because I
No.
noticed there's a token
I
there.
think it does that on that.
It handles that automatically.
And these little numbers, is that a
So-
big deal?
Yeah, so that's all done. The screen line is complaining because there's not an empty line at the end of the file,
As you do.
but it's not. I fixed
No,
it.
no.
I fixed.
No, there is if you want. There's a
I-
cabinet though. Or there's white space in it.
Where?
It does when you
At the bottom, it's a space.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you save it now, that bottom green line's going to go away. The other things are complaining because there's no doc strings, but
Yep.
it's not like it's underscoring red lines every day.
Yeah, it's
Ah.
actually
Like last
working
month.
as intended now.
I had to put an entire exception for some library in order to make it work. Because it rendered that it created its file structure at runtime, so that it was messing with the linker.
Huh. Well, that's helpful.
Okay, so there's one other thing we needed to do on that quick start page, and it's actually adding in our form code to our Flask app.
Is that this number right here?
The
Yeah.
red ring.
This guy.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
For the sake of simplicity, we can just we can copy that and then change it in the app.
Right. Hopefully no weird formatting stuff happens.
Yeah.
And we want to go back to our forms pie.
No, not forms.
No.
Views.
Views.
Yeah, because our form file is completely done.
Init.py inside of views. There we go.
Views.net.
This is why I'm not a fan of the init pie method. It's a good trick, but it makes it really obnoxious to find in your editor.
There are some times when it is useful. It doesn't help you in the tabs on the top.
No, it does not.
I'm going to put that right there, and then I'm assuming we can get rid of.
You get 2
No,
lines of white space.
No, we can keep let's keep the original route because that's going to be on our index.
Okay. So let's get rid of
That's what
this.
you'll get if you just go to the URL and nothing else.
No. We need to keep that line.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
let's keep the original endpoint.
Yep.
Like just add a space after the return string.
So if you browse the original input, you're going to get the message. If you browse the /submit, you're going to.
All right, so yeah, that.
To import form.
Okay, so we browse to nothing, we get this hello OPUG, and if we browse to submit,
It's going to do the form.
we get the form. That is awesome.
Yeah, like
That is super
Flask,
cool.
Flask is taking care of our routing for us.
Cool beans. All right,
Okay.
let's go ahead and keep
So
saving.
I heard.
You need to import the form one. So I think at the top under Flask Mob is from forms.
So actually, because we're in the views folder, it's going to be from flaskmob.forms.
Ooh,
Yeah.
both sides.
We call it Pokemon.
I think we just call it
Yeah, we
didn't change.
capital T and should.
No, we didn't change the name yet.
No,
We
I
could probably
don't
change
think
the
so.
name.
For this,
Oh, yeah. No, I
Are
haven't
you
changed it.
trying
ripped
to
it right
import
off.
that?
That is for the HTML.
No, so-
Yeah, if one got pie, we just ripped it off.
It's in forms.py.
The very last one.
Last time.
forgive me. My bad. Here we go.
Yeah.
Add my form, right?
Yeah. So
Let's change that to something cool. How about
add Pokemon.
No, but
yeah, Poke form. Are we cool with that? Or add Poke?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, Poke
That's
form.
fine. Or
Yeah. So we save that. You have to save that.
Gosh. Alright, no more green dots. Import. Poke form. Yay. Savey.
Change that in submit to form equals Poke form. That's it.
Alright, submit, methods get, post. Is there anything I need to do here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
form equals
get it.
Poke form.
get it.
Okay. There we go. Success, form.
So
So we
this,
have a
if-
redirect
we
to
also
a
don't have
success
a
page that
redirect.
doesn't exist. But
So
Oh.
now we are working with our database. What we need to do is, well, we can actually probably still use that redirect. We could have it redirect to the API endpoint that we had already set up, because our form currently just has a name, so we'd be able to do a redirect to
the show
API
page, basically.
1.1 Pokemon, and then have it format so that the last part is going to be form.name.
Okay.
So,
It's going
That's
to be
loaded.
easy. It's going to
Alright,
be easy
so we
to
start
do
with
that,
this.
so if we go to our API.py file, I think is where that point is. You scroll down to the bottom.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
that string API 1.0 Pokemon string colon name. That's what we want to route to. Correct?
we would need to redirect it on a post in order to actually put it in there.
Right. That's
Or if we're just, well, I don't know, if this form is just a get instead of a place, then something else that we can do is we can have a toggle in the form that says, do you want to add or do you want to fetch? And if we're adding it, we could actually just go to, from Flask Mob, we could import the DB directly, or the DB object, and then add a query directly using that.
And we could make that overcomplicated.
whether you're creating, whether you're using this template to create a new Pokemon or whether you're using it to edit, you still want to go to the show page afterward to confirm that your data got either updated or created. So I don't know, like you may want to eventually have some kind of a flash notification and tell someone that they're successful on that page that's in JavaScript or something, but it doesn't seem like you would want to go anywhere different from that page after hitting submit on this form.
So rather than using a redirect, we would just add it locally here. And there is a way to do the flash message in Flask. I don't remember exactly how, but I know you can.
So do we want to keep this redirect for blah 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 redirect for now, or do we want to do something else with it?
Well, we could go into the API file and
Right.
then copy paste over the code that we used to add it to the database already.
I think we should leave it in the redirect for now, just to get the actual form
Just to
submission
look
working
and make
first.
sure that we actually have a page.
Then go back and change it. Let's do one piece at a time.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
incrementally.
Okay,
so,
so
as it stands, it's going to do a get request. So our form is going to check whether a Pokemon is in the database or not.
Oh, and we should change that string name to actually be, how do we retrieve something that we get out of that form?
It should just be form.name.
Okay, then let's just change that whole, everything in the angle brackets.
And if that doesn't work,
Remove
No.
those two.
we need to get rid of those, and then you can put in the curly braces.
oh heck yeah,
Yes,
they're like
Stop format.
kind of like
This is actually running on Python 3.6. We could actually
Oh.
put F. If you go to the very beginning of the string, outside of the string itself, put an F. And then inside those curly braces, you can do form.name.
Oh, we got that new stuff. We got that 3.6 stuff.
oh like this,
Leading edge as much as possible.
that number right there.
I like dot format strings.
Okay,
Credit
so-
to the
Is this kind of like when you add when you're using JSX and you embed JavaScript inside of the HTML that's inside of a JavaScript?
It's basically letting you do.
Similar?
It's like you're
Okay.
inline escaping.
Yeah,
Cool.
so if you didn't have the F, you'd need double braces, like the rest of them.
Well,
If you didn't have the F, you'd do the double braces, and then at the end of the thing, you'd do dot format, then you'd open in your parentheses, then you'd write in the names of variables you want to put in there and work.
This is shortening the dot format, or in Python 2 it was the percent sign.
Okay.
Python has like
Okay.
3 different ways now to do the formatted strings,
And it's so much cleaner.
yeah, the new one is dramatically better.
This is similar.
So do I need to
just
switch
don't
my
have
interpreter to
installed
3?
on my things yet, so. Because Thread 6 came
Is
out
that
in
cool?
January, so it's pretty new.
Yeah.
This is cool. All right, so we're gonna save this, and are we running it right now?
We don't have a template called submit.html.
Okay. What do we have? Do we want to make one?
No, so our submit.html is actually Pokemon form.html. So we'll need to add render template into from Flask import render template. This is what is actually doing our Jinja 2 rendering, and that is what is going to insert our form.
You can just do that on the top line, I think.
It's-
Oh no, sorry, it's from Flask, not
Yeah.
Flask Mob, my bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's the same module.
Yes. Yeah, so that takes care of render template. Submit.html needs to change to templates / Pokemon form.html. I think there's also I need to double check that should work.
You tell it the path, and it's technically under views, so do we have to give it the full?
Well, this is under views itself.
So because it's currently in views, so
Yeah.
it should work from.
So it's relative to the folder that the Python script is in this case.
Yes, I think so.
It's like
Well, I guess we'll find out in a moment.
Yeah, that's what we find out.
There is a way to just create view static.
Yeah.
But I don't think that actually.
Automatically, it takes the static folder, I believe, next to the app, but
No, get rid of that leading slash.
Oh.
That will look in the root folder of the entire computer.
Okay, so it'll go back to the root and then go inside of templates. What about this leading slash?
So that's fine because that's going to an index. We're getting our web facing and our file system routes kind of confused. What is a file system? Because that is the link.
Yeah, that's what we're actually looking for, something that we made.
Like you're looking for a file. The top one is like a URL.
Yeah, so it'll be the regular URL and then that / forward. And that's just so cool, guys.
And the URL one starts with the / because whatever our localhost 5000 or our
Right.
Facebook.com is just going to be placed before that slash.
Okay.
In reality.
okay, so we'll save that file, and what else we need to do, right?
Well, I think it's time for somebody else to come up. I've been up here for like I think 15 minutes.
Well,
It
So
just
I-
seems like that.
Well, go back
Do you
to.
feel that you've had your moment of success yet, though?
No, that's what I'm saying. Let's get there real quick and
Yeah.
give somebody else a chance.
So let's try to vote this day.
We want to chase that feeling.
Let's close the voting to do a test.
So it should already be updated because we have our run.py already going and our debug is set to true. So every time that we save the file, it was automatically relaunching our web application.
Mhm.
So we should just be able to slide. one
Okay,
of the
and this
directions.
number, big deal, no big deal.
Right now, though, it's going to respond the same way for
Oh.
hit and poke.
Don't worry about that because Pylint has not been updated to 3.6, so it has
Right.
no idea what a formatted string is.
Ah,
So if it's
Neither
really
do I.
bugging people, we can change the F to format.
Let's leave it like this, assuming you actually have Python 3.6 installed.
Yes, I know I have 3.6 installed.
Okay, so we're good.
Pylint is not. They're adding it in version 2, and I don't know when that's coming.
so
out.
should we just reload this baby?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's take us the same
Alright.
route. We
Yeah.
can go to the
Well,
route.
that's like a regression test.
Yeah,
I never have to do that.
Should be
Oh, good point.
/submit.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, so
Oh.
it's on submit. So go ahead and reload this page
Let's
and
just
see
make
if
sure it's
it's
still
running.
Okay, we're still
Okay,
working.
so we're
Good.
still okay,
Okay.
but localhost 5000/submit should do something now.
Yep.
Probably will do something error bound, but
Yep.
like
It'll do something.
And it will do the same thing regardless of whether it's a hit or a post.
Yes.
Enter.
Okay, so
Alright.
something.
Down here.
Secret key.
See, I asked if
Oh.
we needed to do anything with
Oh,
CSRF.
Magic, you got to do with
No,
that. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
fine.
Oh, you have to add it on
CSRF is
the, um,
always more
You have
complicated
to
than
have the
just
hit
set.
tag on the template.
I thought we had that tag on the template. Or
The
no,
template-
that was the second.
The template
Okay,
has
template.
Yeah, the CSRF template.
references a
Yeah.
token.
You don't have a
Where's
secret
the
key.
token?
Anywhere.
Yeah.
We need this in the config file.
Yes, we do.
Or in the
Yeah.
There, we have one of those. It says
We do
Okay.
have
Or in
it.
the Python.
I don't think
Let's
we.
check it.
I don't think we set it up yet.
No, so I guess we'll have to go back to the quick start and see what it says about that.
Config.py.
Yeah, config.py currently just contains what we need to have for our database right now.
Okay.
Alright, so we are
We can put
over.
an extremely secure secret key in there.
Like my secret key.
Password.
Now, this would be a good time to stop and talk about how to configure your Gitignore files and stuff to keep your secret keys out of your repository. And
True.
That's
Oh,
a,
yeah,
let's not do
that's a
that.
whole other
If you
level.
make-
Let's
If
not
you
get
make
into
it
that.
secret key, you needn't bother.
Sorry, we don't cover that here.
How about
Yeah,
validating
that's
for
not-
Validate.
Okay,
That's
that's
not
something.
what we're looking for. Just check in here and see, like,
If you do, maybe do a quick search for CSRF, maybe.
yeah.
It says, in addition, a token
Like, it
field
says-
is created automatically, but it doesn't say where the token.
I thought it was
That's-
maybe something.
That's creating the
Python
field to
file.
receive that token.
Maybe
I
we don't
know
actually
that's
need
all.
to have that line in there. What if we go to the HTML and remove that
Yeah,
format
we
zero?
could just,
Yeah.
let everybody hack into our app, I mean, that's,
Oh,
And-
oh,
it's not
okay.
like people are watching this from the internet or anything.
Well, it's all open source too.
Yeah, I mean, it would go with it.
Alright, so I'm
Thank you,
gonna
guys.
just remove this entire line altogether.
Your Mac is now owned, by the way.
It's home.
Oh,
Get it right.
That's all right.
Alright,
Hey, even that's old slang now. That's how far we've come.
It says that you can do it by setting WTF CSRF secret key as a
You gotta install another
like,
extension
as
and
a
do some
name.
stuff.
Thought that, swear.
I don't think, does it say where it would set that inside
You
of our
would
form?
use, yeah, it says basically you have to import CSRF protect and then do a little initialization and then it says by default this will use the Flask app secret key. If you like separate token, you can set up your own secret key.
Okay, but if for now, if we take that line out of the HTML, will it work?
no.
No? Are you sure?
No.
Was it still complaining about?
Alright,
if
let's
we-
try it.
It's not done.
No, it's not done. So if we just save this and go back to our app and try to reload the page, it's still trying to use CRF even though we don't
Okay,
have
scroll down.
Sorry.
Let's see the traceback.
Where it begins.
Yeah, keep going down.
Yeah, I'll just down to the bottom of the page.
Go a little higher.
It's key error in
Keep going. Keep going a little higher. Try to find where it's actually being.
form. Yeah.
Yep.
Form.
Keep going.
Form.
Try to find where it talks to
It
template.
says-
Keep going.
On documentation, I'm
Why?
reading, it says that
Form
you
equals
can disable it by setting W2F CSRF check default to false.
Oh, there's a
Okay.
possible. There's a workaround.
I mean, we could also try configuring the CSR
alright.
protect if you want to do that.
Alright,
Probably
so
good.
where's our WTF file? Or what are we looking for again? I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, it looks like from the instructions, what we need to do is, have we installed the extension yet?
It should already be
Yeah.
there.
Okay, uncomment that line before we forget. Okay, save it. Alright, I think we want to do this, we probably want to do this in init.py for the application, correct? That sounds like the right place for it, since that's where the app object is available. Okay, we need to do a couple things. We need to do an import for CSR protect. Okay. Below the Flask stuff, yeah, below config, I think, it's probably a fine place. Do from Flask _ WTF .csrf import capital CSRF protect.
Capital P, small, the rest of it.
Yep. Okay, it's right there, yeah.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay, we got that. Now we need to go down to do after app is declared, so below the DB stuff.
But before,
Like on line 11.
Yep, yeah, there. They suggest doing CSRF equals CSRF protect app, and I think that will do it.
CRSF.
Yes, I'm sorry. The thing we imported before.
alright, so
CRSF.
Yes, CSRF
It's
equals.
just a variable.
Yeah.
Yes.
so yeah, this big one.
Request
No,
forgery.
No.
Not that one.
Not that one, not that one.
You see, like,
That's your
you see how the DB equals, et cetera, is done? We're doing that basically.
Yeah, it's just like
Ah.
lowercase CSRF would be great.
Yep.
Okay, so we're just declaring a variable.
Yep.
Yes.
CSR
CSR
protect, pass
protect.
app into that. Yep, like that, and just do parentheses app.
Is this a
Yeah.
thing? Okay, cool.
Okay, so, yeah, that should work.
Okay, I see.
Save that.
There's another one in there.
Save
And
that
try to
and
run,
see if we've got new errors.
run the page, yep.
Now, we still haven't declared a secret key, so we'll have to set a secret key for the app.
Okay, we still haven't declared a secret key,
Okay.
like you said.
So I think you should just be able to go into config, I think.
And
Yeah.
add
I
a secret
think,
key.
yeah, I think it's just a config thing called, secret key.
Yeah.
Secret underscore key.
Yeah, so all caps secret _ key equals my amazing super awesome secret key.
Isn't that
As a
a string?
string. Yeah. So whatever you want to do.
I was gonna make it I hate hackers, but you know.
And at
They
Zord,
would guess
by
that
the
too
way,
easily.
so they're just spelling everything out.
Hacksaw is a Pokemon name.
There we go.
See, it's more secure because you misspelled friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I didn't do it. The hackers did it.
Yeah, Florida spelling. Williams.
Yeah.
How we spell French, Florida.
All right.
All right. Oh, all right.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. Good work.
But did we add that back to the form? .html?
So I have a question.
Okay, yeah, we did.
If we added that stuff to the initializer, do we need to like restart our server for that to take effect?
For config.py, we might.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like we've
I
It
think
wouldn't
we're
hurt
changing
to
it.
restart it.
We've
It's easy to
changed
restart
stuff,
than a
but-
wonder
Let's
about
do some voodoo and restart the server.
Yeah.
All right, where's my
Yeah.
The server's running in VS Code.
Okay, how do I pull up the thingy thing?
Should be Control ~.
Command tilde.
Control.
Control tilde. Okay, but yeah, okay, cool. My bad.
Yeah,
And then-
okay, so and then click the trash can on this one because we were just installing our library. So now do Control C, not Command C.
Oh my God.
And then just up arrow enter.
That's the wonderful thing about Mac. So many wonderful key choices.
And just wait
Yeah.
until
Wait,
you
wait.
try
As
pressing
in
arrow.
Actually, use the up arrow, so
Oh.
it'll give
Yeah,
you the
use the
last.
up arrow.
Yeah, Mac
Whoa, whoa.
should
Too
be
much.
Too many up arrows.
Now we're in the desktop. No.
This one.
Here we go.
No.
Yeah.
Now we're in the desktop.
Oh God, now we're in the desktop.
Oh, wait. Code Flask Mob?
We'll go one more.
Good. Cool.
No.
TWD.
Actually, I
Go
think,
down to an empty one.
I think we have to get into the right
Yeah. So
directory
do
first.
do
anyway,
CD space capital
Yeah.
F tab
Press CD minus.
Capital F tab.
tab. Yeah. Enter.
Oh.
Too many. CD minus.
Wow. And what?
Yeah. So enter. And now go up to Python run.py. There we go. Enter.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I'm considering getting one of these now. This is kind of cool.
Lots of keys pressed.
Okay. So we restarted our server.
Okay, so
Let's
now let's
see.
go back and refresh and see if
Or we
we
need
have
more.
new errors or the same old errors. Same. Sad.
All right, let's see what Google says about setting up a secret key for Flask.
I don't remember
So,
having to do all this junk
I-
as an example.
So I don't remember having to do that either. What I remember doing was instead of in Flask Mob or init, instead of doing CRSF or CSRF, try comment out that
Wait
line.
a minute.
Yeah.
We didn't add the config. How did we get the config? We had the SQL Alchemy database URI here, but for the config file, we haven't imported anything else. So the secret key isn't
Oh.
part of that config.
Oh,
That could be.
So I
So
would
is that
recommend.
plausible?
okay, uncomment that. App config.
Oh, so actually, here's something that we need to do. In here, instead of CSRF, get rid of that line, and we need to actually add our config object, our actual config file to our application. So add a space in there,
That way we don't have to add key by key.
as in add an extra line,
Right?
so we can separate out from our imports. So we need to do.
Should we do that before we call db equals etc.? Like instead of that app config file.
Let's actually do that. So our app.config. So right after between those two lines, between our two lines that begin with app, add a new line, and we need to do app.config .from object config.from _ object and parentheses string value config.
Capital letters?
Yeah, so it's the name of our config file, config.py,
Oh,
all
no.
lowercase.
My bad.
And it's just config, we don't have to have .py.
Okay.
And then comment out the line below that.
Save.
Now save and run.
Run again?
Yes.
Restart?
Is it restart or reload?
Let's restart just to be safe.
I'm just going to Control C this.
Yeah, Control C, up
Yeah.
arrow.
Up arrow.
Time.
Yeah. That.
How many times?
And back to our app. Reload, please.
Oh,
Okay,
template
different
not found.
error.
All right,
Different error.
we
Yay!
did it.
That's a misspelling. $10, that's a misspelling on my part.
And you know what that says is that you didn't use the right folder name.
Are you sure we don't need to do views / templates /
Are you sure you need to put templates on
Yeah, pretty sure.
Whoa.
there? Pretty sure I put some stuff in templates directly below. Didn't have to say
No,
templates.
no,
Oh,
it's
you didn't
looking
put it in a
for it.
subfolder called views for random.
It's
No.
looking for it, but
Just put.
Oh.
what does it think it's
Init,
the parent
the-
directory
Alright.
is where it's
Well,
linked
that's
from?
the route file,
As soon as I find it.
where you have, yeah,
It's views in it.
views in it.
Oh,
Yeah. So this is not the right,
Yes, it's the-
I mean,
Look at the error page. Take a look at where thinks it is.
I don't see any misspellings. Do you guys?
No, I have a question. I think our path is wrong, but I don't know how. We're either missing something off the front of templates, or we shouldn't have templates. Or we should have views in there.
I haven't used Flask in a while, but is it a specific return render and then you have to call that route, or is it render?
No, so render template is just returning a string that gets served at that route. So it's just like doing our index return a basic string, but it's rendering template into a
So
string.
that, I remember from my Django experience, that there's a specific, there's a specific way to actually create them. So are we doing that here?
You know, why don't we?
Maybe templates has to be in our
Well,
Flask Mob folder.
it's kind of, the error to me though was saying
Also-
that it's not.
No, it's
Well, it's under views.
It's under views, so templates might actually have to be.
Would you
under
mind going back to the
That's the
error?
way I've
So
done
it
it.
says, it says that the template is not found,
Which means it couldn't find the HTML file.
but we know that that's there.
So we're just giving a path that doesn't like.
So that's what I'm saying, is like something about the path is.
Well, if you go to the traceback, they have that nifty little feature where you can go on the right side of these lines, and you can actually click and it'll run the terminal from that point in the traceback. So if you find a line,
Well, this is one, but is there any one that you guys want?
like you can see what it's trying, because it might be trying to construct a path.
Yeah. Yeah, go to the bottom of the page and work up. It's usually faster.
Okay. So
So that
Okay,
one, the
that one.
first template
And then-
found.
Just click that and enter a template and see what it, oh yeah, this is where you have to go
Okay.
back to the other one.
Yeah, go.
Really?
Yeah, so open up the terminal
and it's
and
this
there's
one?
our- yeah, right there.
That way other people can't debug.
can I copy from here?
But I want other people to help me.
Can I Control C?
From Russia.
You can command C.
Command C.
Yeah.
Remote assistance. You take remote assistance on a debugger?
Fix in my file.
All right.
Okay.
Fix in my file.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna have to scroll down.
Oh,
again.
do it again. All right. Cool. No big deal.
Console ready? Okay, it had, oh, begin again, okay. Now your
Okay, so
console
it's
ready.
console.
Okay,
Click
the
on
prompt,
Next the arrows.
yeah, three shields. Click to the right of that, that's your prompt.
It'll give you a little, yeah, there it is. No, there it is again.
Yeah, click
Where?
in there. Click in.
Click in there. All right.
And then,
That's actually a prompt from Python.
Click Enter.
template.
Template.
Enter the word template. We want to see what template is. Is it a string?
Enter.
It's the
Okay.
thing, Tim was, yeah,
So maybe we have to go up a bit, because there's source file name up to date.
In Django, they recommend that you put your templates in a file called, in a folder called templates. So you have templates.
yeah, oh, the
Yeah,
Flask
so-
likes that too.
yeah, so
In
what-
fact, if you do that, I don't think you have to, if you put it in direct, your templates in a folder directly under where you're running the thing from,
Yeah.
you don't have to say templates. I believe it infers templates.
That could be it.
I remember, that might be something a little more blueprints, but that's, I think, a little more.
Why don't we try, go back to the code and drag the templates folder under Flask Mob.
Yeah, up out of these.
Yeah, so, yeah, just like that. And then in our view, in our views file that's up right now, just get rid of templates and the slash.
Yeah, just be focused on, yeah. Try that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's what I did before.
Yeah, so save that, and then reload the page and see what happens.
Hey!
Yay!
Alright.
Game
Okay,
over.
success.
All right. Now we enter our name. Will this do anything? Do you think?
It should do something, but it should fail.
All right. No, that's what I'm saying. But like this will. What will happen is we enter. Somebody give me a Pokemon name. I am not a fan.
Fake Pokemon name.
You figure that manually, yeah.
Peekaboo.
Lambdasaur.
Lambdasaur, I like that one.
Peekaboo.
That was in my fake
I like that one.
Pokemon
Is that how you spell
name.
lambda?
Non-functional programming.
Press
Now it says
go.
it goes up.
That's
Okay.
not allowed.
Uh,
You
you need-
URL.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Post?
It was trying to do a post to our.
I'm not sure what that get, method get equals to get post means there. Well, go back.
Go to the console and see which route it actually that gave us that error.
Yeah, down the messages from the server.
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So roasted.
I was trying to post to slash.
And not to, we post to where it's. Yeah.
Oh, go to the template. We set the correct path on the form.
Oh, yeah, you did. You just copied and
Yep.
pasted it.
Action slash, yeah, that needs to go.
Oh, yeah.
We need to fix the path on that.
Okay. Is anybody
Slash submit, I believe, will work.
okay? Slash submit.
Save that. Go back to slash submit in the browser.
And then, go back a page. That should. Be
Yeah,
fine.
because I don't have to.
Reload.
Yeah. Reload.
Another Pokemon name, something different.
The
Not
Pika-
Lambda Zorn.
Peekaboo.
Peek-a-moo.
Peekaboo. Peekaboo.
And,
All right.
All right, we've got redirect.
Okay, so that's good. We have something. We fixed the last error, so we need to import and redirect from flasks.
Okay. Now, in the interest of allowing other people to
Yeah, I'll
do the
say
thing?
that.
Yeah,
So we got the form running. Now we need to debug it.
All right, I'll take it.
I feel achieved and good.
Go into
Well, before
the
you
middle
go up,
of the 5 buttons there.
Somebody who wasn't here last time wanna go?
Actually, that's a good point.
Anybody who doesn't know anything,
Go for it.
it's a good way to learn. Hey, somebody new.
Before you leave, and so before everyone leaves, go to the middle button on there, the get icon all the way on the left.
With the 6 notification
Yeah.
button.
Oh, yes.
Oh, let's
So-
push.
So every time that someone changes, we're going to add a commit. So,
Next to changes,
So
press the plus
message
button.
up there.
well, if we don't do the plus button, it just adds everything automatically.
Yeah.
So just a message could be, what do you want to message?
Change some stuff.
We added
Forms.
the form, right? So
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah,
the main
yeah, the
thing
form.
that we did.
Yeah, added Pokemon form.
This adds Pokemon form.
And then click the checkbox up top. And then all the way on the bottom, right next to master, there's a on the blue
whoops.
bar on the bottom of the screen.
Oh, push.
Yeah, right there. And that pushes it up to GitHub so that anyone who's following along can grab it.
So now I guess you guys got to pull it down.
Also, do we need the name to be 20 characters? I think.
What?
We can just take that out.
I mean, that's the optimal character length for a booking on
Well, I defer to the experts on that,
Well,
so I
the size equals 20 is just how wide it appears on the page. It's
Yeah,
not, it's not the
it's-
maximum length.
Right, that would be a
I'm okay with
So if
eight.
you go
I'm
to
okay with
20,
eight
you
characters
just keep
uppercase
scrolling.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's more traditional.
Cool. The first letter tells.
So now that we've added a form, we need to debug it.
Well, we need to actually have it add to the database now.
Oh, yeah.
That's, I mean, it's a really pretty form, but I think it
It's
would
a
be
beautiful-
cool if it actually did something.
Just needs a little styling, that's all.
See, now I'm messing up my Windows keys.
That's the fire max.
Yeah, it happens.
Look up going forward, negative transfer. So, let's try to get this.
So what do we need to do to make this push request actually
I'm
fit something to do?
guessing in that code that we hit when the form is posted.
So then if you go back to, yeah, that should give you the files. So we made an API.py, we did some posting to the database in there, so we can probably use some of that code. I just am not exactly sure how we should do that.
So question, the database is API/1.0/Pokemon. This is a database?
Well, that is the route that it would show
Database.
on.
Right.
Yeah, so that's where you would make the request to in order to do the post, but what we made there was just an API endpoint so that you could submit, via just,
Not necessarily by our web form, but by
our web
anything
form,
that-
but via just a post request to that URL.
It's our pseudo REST API.
So it's more of an API call than an actual.
Somehow, I don't know, doesn't it seem like we should turn around and call our own APIs, but I don't know why I feel that. It seems like it's analogous somehow to the fact that you should use your own public methods for your private methods, but I don't recall the rationale for that. Something about.
Well, the first thing we should probably do is we should look at that error we got and see what's going on there.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that means we forgot to import something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is, we're just making an import.
Or redirect.
That's in,
Well, if it says form.name, if it gives us the Pokemon there and it's telling us that there's something wrong with going there, that wouldn't surprise me because it's not actually being added into the database. So there's not really anything to pick up on.
Well, the problem is redirect is not defined. We don't know if it did or didn't get at the database.
So it's just not recognizing that as a part.
And I believe we may have to import
I think we need to import redirect from Flask.
Yeah, try that, from Flask import.
Yeah.
Redirect.
We do need to do that. We also probably want to import requests so that we can differentiate between Git.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you gotta have requests too.
Requests?
Requests,
Request
Singular.
singular?
singular. It is not
Is it capital or
lowercase.
lowercase?
Are we using that currently?
Huh?
Are we using it currently?
Request?
Yeah.
No. We should in the future, I think.
Okay,
Because
then
we do
let's, yeah.
I'm just for extrapolating the
request
fact that I saw this in a couple of solutions my students submitted. So if it didn't have requests, I'm not sure why.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if you want, we should.
Imports you don't use are sort of stylistically bad, but I suspect they cost you nothing.
So,
Not much, but we will hopefully use it.
just from what we've done so far though, with importing redirect, should we go back to the browser and see if that
Yeah, let's hit that.
is here?
So go to. We got
We have a
different
new
error.
error, so that's good.
This was from last time when we,
We're gonna return that thing, right? From something.
Right.
Well, it's saying that none type object, so it's trying to pull from the
Whatever's to the left of
database
that.
now, and it's getting nothing
Result doesn't-
because we don't have anything.
Result
we haven't
is
added
none.
anything to the
Right.
database.
So
So our
result-
database is set up.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
we have the database.
There's a pokey
We
on
have
there.
it, we have
It's
it, and
right
we have
there.
an
It's
API
right there on the screen. We
Yeah.
did this before.
But now we're trying to take that, abstract some of that code over to our actual form, so that when the form submits, it does the same adding to the database. Okay. But
So
we
results
still-
specifically and
We
defined,
still have
let's say.
our table set up with 3 columns and everything.
It's basically saying results undefined, right?
So,
Basically.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wrote this right. We hooked up this thing to submit the form, we hooked it instead of redirect, we did not actually hook up the logic where we actually put anything in the database.
That's
Which
what
is
I'm
what
saying, that's
the
what
other
this
guys-
error is telling us, is that I looked for the name to put into the
Yep.
template, I didn't find anything, a type of none came
Yep.
back to me because there's nothing in there.
So do we want to copy the logic in here, or do we want to do something really silly and call our own API?
I think that would be a really weird thing to do.
Yeah,
on
but
the
something's
API.
wrong with calling your own public API. I don't know what it's wrong.
It's not.
It's like using your own public.
I think it should be as a part of this submit definition, we should be doing some database operations there, is what it says.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we want to use that code maybe that's
Yeah,
so very similar
we already
to the API.
Wrote something that will probably work in API.py, we can
Yeah,
as a
I'm
basis.
gonna copy some junk out of
Right,
API.
so we go back to the API.py file.
Yeah, so it was up in the editor.
So if we go back to the editor,
Sorry.
oh, no problem.
Where is it?
The text editor that you were in before is probably Command Tab.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Now
if you go over to the rightmost tab that's open, actually the API.py.
API, oh.
Yeah, either way. this part here where we have the, where we're
We're creating a
adding
new,
is
we instantiated a new Pokemon we added. So
that's,
we'll have to add a default color for now. Well, color's none because we're not giving any color right now. We can pretty much use that code, right?
This is a code,
yeah, we
right?
can pretty much copy all that code in, and then we might have to do something with
Yeah.
color, so.
Well,
Do I copy the function itself or just the
So-
code?
So
No, just that part is fine.
copy just that part.
yeah, because we've got the method.
And then go back to, yeah,
Because it's going to be inside submit, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna
Yeah,
be inside
so-
this if.
so
Wouldn't
instead
it
of,
be better to import the class and then do the same thing that we were doing there, rather than just copying one method?
Hmm.
The code and putting it here, so now we have
So-
those two instances of the same
that might
code.
be,
So you're saying
yeah,
import the
that might be
class
better
and
if we
take the
included,
post. Yeah, that actually
map
makes
time.
sense. Yeah, that
And
makes
then,
sense.
and then posted it.
Because otherwise, we have two versions of the same code. One.
Well, yeah, generally we want to.
Right, yeah, but then we are importing something, a method that we use with a route. Otherwise, we're importing it in a completely different. I'm not sure I like importing a completely different context like this.
Well, we could have the actual database. Otherwise, the other thing we could do is have the API for the API and then
Can I
database
see the
method that's used
Sure,
there.
is it
that might
enough
make sense.
time?
Yeah.
We're
think
This one?
We're working on how
This
to
one?
get the database code that we have, like what's the right way to put that into our new form.
And
So when our form is submitted, we want to actually put a new Pokemon.
So we first said that we should just copy all this post code. But then I pointed out, well, if we do that, then we have two versions of the same code, Pokemon changes. Why don't we just import Pokemon nap time and then use the post method?
Or you could even just create a class, not even a
Database
class function,
class.
but a file function. Like we have two classes and then a function that says add new Pokemon. And then on our post here, we just do add new Pokemon, we give it name and color.
Yeah,
and
that's what we're talking
We'll call that
and then
both
it-
places.
Yeah, I call that both places.
Yeah, that's what
Yep,
we
Yep, that sounds
we
good.
So
Okay.
Huh?
So let's-
in there, we would take all the code that's under post,
Yeah,
including the
including the exception.
raise and return and all of that, and we would take that out to its own function in this file.
As in cut it.
Yeah, cut it. Or actually, in this case, we could probably just get away with unindenting it.
I just thought we were going to make
And
a
adding
database
Pokemon.
class, like a database class that would reference from the resource and then also reference
Well,
you.
That's what DB is. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like from Flask Mob and for DB, that's what DB is.
Right, it's the.
So we're making a new definition.
Yeah, and this def is actually going to be outside the class, so
Okay.
we can do.
Oh, it's just a function. It's not
Yeah,
a member of
it's just a
class.
function.
Yeah, one more undent.
Command Z.
Command Z.
On
Use your
this,
friend
on this
that.
one, you can do Shift Tab, I think, to undent.
Yeah, that usually does it.
Yeah. Awesome. So the line above that, we can do our def. Add new Pokemon.
Do I do it the Flask way or the Java way?
Any way you want.
That's good.
Neither way is wrong, and neither way is
It
right.
wants a name and a color, right?
Yeah, and then inside we'd have the name, color.
Don't capitalize the
Okay.
first letter.
Yeah, the capitalized first letter is wrong.
All the
That
Java
needs to be
programmers
resolved.
are. There's a collective gasp from all the
Yeah.
Java programmers.
Yeah,
Oh my God, it's a method. Don't do that.
yeah. In Python, the traditional way is your classes are start with a capital, and your functions and
You don't need self.
variables.
You just need name and
Yeah, because it's not actually a member of a class.
color
so there is no
equals
self.
none.
So this is basically just a standalone function.
It has to be upper.
Yep,
Yep.
there we go.
Right.
And a colon. So we're good.
Yeah, so now
Okay.
now to fix this file up on def post, that line stays as is, but the line underneath it, we're going to call add new Pokemon and pass in name and color.
Yep.
Oh, got
Sort of
it.
like an awful
Wow, that actually makes sense.
Truly all concept.
It's fun, man. Now,
I don't remember this.
Cooler.
It's a false friend.
Yeah. So we can save this file, and
That actually
then
makes sense.
in our views, we can just import that function out. So it can be from flaskmob.views import add new Pokemon. Views, yeah, the S on the end. Yeah, then it should appear in the autocomplete.
It's not there.
Just a question. Is there ever a right time to do from module import asterisks? Is that ever acceptable?
It's not views. We added an API.
Oh, we added an API. Thank you.
Oh, so
I do
from
it, but I'm the notorious bad example, so.
Yeah, so
I
Flaskmob,
enjoy the asterisks.
Flaskmob.api.
I really don't enjoy doing a 5 of them one at a time and finding each one.
Yeah.
But
Now
that's
it's
all
autocomplete.
And yeah.
I think it's going a little wonky.
There we go.
There.
Yay!
Cool, okay.
And now we call it.
And now instead of, so we just call add new
14
Pokemon.
maybe, right?
Yeah, so on that empty line there, if you, perfect. Add new Pokemon, and then form.name and form, and that's all, because we don't have a color on
form.name.
And we made color an optional argument, so we're okay.
And we can actually do return add new Pokemon, so just add return to the front, because return is taking care of our.
But we don't want that redirect anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
We don't want
return the Pokemon to the parameter.
Yeah, so just in front of add new Pokemon, we're going to
Oh,
put
okay,
our
We're returning the result of adding a new Pokemon.
Yeah,
So we're going to be having two returns.
No,
No.
we're going to get rid of.
we're going to get rid of
15.
the other line.
Oh,
That was an idea that's no longer operative.
Get rid of that.
That was when we were going to call our API.
That should work.
Yeah, pilots will be happy because we don't have a formatted string anymore. So we'll save this.
And then basically, if you don't go in the else, you're going to fall into. It's not-
all right. Mac doesn't have a delete.
Teachable moments, kind of explaining what's going on here.
If you want to fall into.
So, I know the people on the web are not going to be able to see my hand pointing on the projector here. Sorry, but what's going on with this code, the way that WPF works is there's a reason why we have getting post up here, and on our, as you saw in our HTML code, the action is going to refer back to the same page, which is why we have the post request on here. When it gets here, we're going, it initializes the form, and if the form already has values from the post, it checks, it takes care of all that for us. If form validate on submit, so if it's post request and the data is valid data, then we're going to actually perform the action. Otherwise, we're going to render the page as the get. So that's what's happening internally, and it's very succinct, but it's kind of obtuse at first glance.
It kind of goes against the.
But I guess it does.
No, I guess not, because if the form validate on submit, you can only validate on submit if you're posting something. So,
I mean,
Do we add the color
I
parameter?
guess you could know that. I would
No,
know.
we don't have a color in our form yet. So
you probably want to get rid of that request then.
let's leave it alone for now. Let's make sure it works. Let's
Okay.
save and make sure it works first.
yeah,
Yeah.
Command F.
yeah. So,
It's hard to see if you're not like.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no,
Okay,
go
so
on.
we
Added it twice.
go all the way to the not specified.
Parameters.
We didn't pass a color out.
No.
No.
Yep. Okay, that's correct. What parameters? Okay. Do we need to do
What's
some
two?
kind of conversion onto the string field object?
No, so what,
No,
what
it's
this
string
said
already. So
is that it's not getting named You know what I bet's going on is that it's not actually form.name, it's something like form.name.value.
I think that might be right.
So let's look in the documentation at Flask WTF to see how we actually get the value
That should
out
be
of
open
the
somewhere.
form.
Yeah, we had that. Yeah, this tab.
So I don't think it's actually in here. It might be validating forms.
But you could also just go back to the editor, do dot, and then I'm pretty sure data. See if that's an option.
Yeah, that's
Oh, true.
possible. Back in VS Code.
Oh,
Yeah,
VS
yeah.
Code.
Yeah, because those autocompletes will tell us all the things
Yeah.
inside.
Data.
There's the dot data.
There's
That looks like it
there's underscore value.
I wonder.
I don't think that's.
I think that's what data's accessing.
Yeah,
could
the
be-
underscore usually implies you want it to be private, but you couldn't make it private because your language doesn't do that.
Yes.
So instead of
And
form.name,
you're not supposed to do
let's try form.data.
I think it needs to be form.name.data.
Yes.
So I'm looking at some examples and
That's what
the
I'm saying.
first,
Okay.
the first example is
Form.name.data.
like, the first example here is to get the username out, it's, form.username.data.
Yep, that sounds
Okay.
correct.
That's
Perfect.
like the attribute from the.
That's what I'm saying.
So let's try that again.
Hey! All right. Let's see if we actually put that in there.
Yeah.
Let's try browse using our API.
So we pull it back.
Yep. Yeah, let's pull that.
yeah.
Able to-
That's
So let's actually open a new tab for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
URL.
local. It's going to be localhost the 5000, and then let's actually go back to the API and just copy paste in that
the big long
API
URL
import.
of the API.
Yeah.
Which
It should
we
be
got
under API.
rid of.
Yes?
Oh no,
Yeah,
we
so
it around.
copy that whole the thing up to the string name part, and we're just going to replace Peekaboo there.
I think you got an extra dash in there.
After the 5000.
Not dash, slash. Right at the start.
Oh, yeah.
Right after 5000.
Yeah, 5,000.
Slash. Oh, double slash. Okay, right.
Did we make the name is
Is it?
case sensitive, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, I think the
I think
P,
it is.
I think the P and the M were capitalized.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
singing nowadays.
So,
And let's see if we get anything back from that.
There's a case name for that.
hey.
Right.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
It's not invited at all.
Start with that folder.
I'm just gonna call it quasi.
All right. I
My
like it.
favorite case name is Shouting.
That was his name.
All right, so we're adding to the database.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like shouting thing.
I have you not heard it described?
That's like the worst of the worst.
It's all caps, but with spaces and underscores.
Yes, it's all caps underscores for new words.
It sounds like something
So,
in
let-
SQL.
It's used, it's used a lot in
It's
C,
constant.
there's a tradition in C that non-defined, non-defines do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you have a preprocessor non-defined number, int max, it's int cap underscore max. So if you
Okay.
see that, you know it's a cipher definition, not a.
We've added a new Pokemon into our database, and if this works, we have an auto incremented ID. Yay!
All right. All right.
Let's go ahead and commit this. So our form, our form and insert is working.
Then let's do about to get some funding.
We're ready.
Oh, we're ready. I can tell.
You can add stuff. You give it a name and color.
No, you can't get
I
a color
can't
yet.
get a color yet.
Version 1.1.
Favorite
Yeah,
layer.
yeah.
Then just that checkbox, that check mark up top,
16 million colors.
Yes.
and then on the bottom. Yep.
Should have had to enter the color in HSB format.
Why is it-
Ooh.
Question. Here's a question. I'm thinking from a Java perspective.
Because it's like,
Well, how is it? How is it that you didn't have to
That used be
add both
Johnny
parameters
Clark Paint
for it to work?
Oh, wow.
as in why
Flask-
we can do it without a color.
Yeah. Why can you do without a
Such
color?
arbitrary-
If you
Yeah,
go
I
up
can see it.
to API, oh, we're in API. If you go up to the top of the file,
Yes.
so in class Pokemon,
Yeah.
we said, we can specify ID, name, and color.
It's 0 to 360.
Name is, in
Oh,
our
color is
definition,
optional.
unique-
Color is
unique
optional.
equals true,
Starts
but
with red.
in our init, we
I
give
can
color a
process
default
that.
value,
I just plug it
and if
Okay, got
color
it.
is not none, we
Got
just,
it. Got it.
so it has a color,
Actually,
it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not specified.
Right, I got it. See that one.
And we should probably add something in there that says if name isn't some value, then raise an error of some kind. but we
Yeah.
just didn't do that.
Evaluate. Okay.
So that's what's going on.
So this would be in C#, the question mark beside it.
Yeah, it's like C# has optionals.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're doing.
Oh, real
Color,
quick, what's yellow?
we're giving it a default value of none.
Right.
And when you create my Pokemon equals Pokemon in there, you don't have to specify a color if you don't want to. You can just give it the name, and it will automatically assume that color is none if it's not given.
Right.
And then we do if not color, color equals not specified, and we create our object.
So if we want to add, we could add a color to our form and then get the color, add the color from in the processing for the route, and we can set the color too if we want to.
So do we want to get someone to up top since we got this working?
Success. That was a much quicker success.
You want to get 2 successes in there?
Sure.
Why don't we work with our form just a little more? Let's add a color drop down.
Oh, drop down.
Drop
Okay,
down.
fancy.
Pull the values to the
Yeah.
Okay.
Limiting
So-
our creativity with this drop down.
Okay, sliders for
I don't color
RGB.
inside.
Yeah, with that.
Oh yeah, we
Or
can
sliders
do,
for HSB.
Get it?
How about that?
Get it?
we can do it. We can have a slider for date of birth.
Stop.
A slider for the
Get out
the
right
hex
now.
byte. Type the RGB.
I know, you showed me. It's
3 sliders
I'm getting like flashbacks right
3
now.
select box drop downs
Terrible.
for the 1 byte
We
for
can
each of the colors.
we can do it. We can do a checkbox for color.
Ooh, I like that.
It's black and blue.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
a checkbox for
let's focus
every
here, let's
value
focus.
of the
Okay.
place.
So we're doing a drop down. We're doing a slider. We're
Yeah,
doing a.
What do we
I don't
actually
think
The
we
want to
drop
do?
down is
I think
like
we
a
should-
realistic option.
I think we want to start something much simpler.
Yeah.
Let's do a drop
I
down.
think a drop
with
down
like
is
4 or
good.
5 things
Yeah.
hard coded on it.
I want to reassure
4 or
you
5. I
guys.
thought black, white, and gray were the color options for our 8-bit version of Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's true.
I want to reassure you guys that it is
Oh.
not as bad as you were probably thinking. It comes with a built-in widget to kind of construct a lot of different aspects like that. So that's one of Django's and Flask's strong suits is that it provides a lot of baked-in widgets to kind of have that really fast prototype of like, this is
Yeah.
roughly what a
I know
website should
it
look
has
like.
a date picker and a time picker. I know I've used those.
Yeah.
Those are
If they can
ways
do
to
that,
apply.
they can handle a drop down. Like,
So let's go into our forms.py. If it's not up top, just the top bar up there. Forms.py and WTF forms import string field. I think it's a drop down field. Probably do capital D and see what pops up. I saw a date field.
Maybe multiple.
Maybe it's a
Maybe.
select field.
Select.
Because I think
Yeah,
that's
field.
what,
Okay.
that's what the actual HTML
Is it select?
standard.
Is it select
But
or
what
select
is-
multiple?
What is select field makes?
What is select
Well,
field
my-
multiple?
That's
And
probably
something.
Abstract class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
abstract in there.
So yeah.
I think, yeah, I do want select field.
Yeah. So then in our class, we
Now down below on line 7, we would want to put color is equal to select field.
yeah. And then I think select field just takes a list of strings.
That would be
That easy?
good to get it going.
Labels. Oh, yeah.
That's the first.
Yeah, so
So because you want to label,
That's right.
so the label should say.
So how do I put it?
yeah, so string, yeah, so color as a string.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the word.
I mean, it could say Coke hue, but colors could look Coke hue.
Let's use one term for every place it's used in the code.
What fun are you?
Oh, no, we just pulled that out so we can internationalize it.
Yeah, you're right. That's what
Yeah.
part two.
That's gonna be part 3.
So
That's after we get the funding.
we don't need a validator on it because we're not requiring your Pokemon to have a color. Right?
Well,
They're thinking a little bit.
let's see what it says in the documentation. Like, we won't have to have validators, but it looks like every single item in this constructor is optional.
Interesting.
So it probably,
Lots of choices.
yeah.
Yes?
It's gonna be out of the quick search. We probably can start with quick search. Like,
Select field.
Go. Or person enter.
yeah, it's loading slowly because it's also trying to search
Oh,
everywhere.
sure.
Oh, great.
2 hour 1.
It's either a case sensitive search or
2 hour 0.5.
yeah, try initial cavity just in case they
Oh.
really did something painful.
I mean, I don't know how many
Nope.
years we actually
In
have.
another doc, I think.
Let-
The fields are in another doc. I remember having to look over heck and back for
So
them.
this documentation overview.
You, that was here for half a.
User guide. Like, searching from here is not going to be
Search
very
for
different.
fields,
Is
not
it this?
forms.
You know, we might as well back on Google.
Or maybe go to the
WTF
WTF
form
forms.
select field, it's probably quicker. Select field.
I wonder what mob programming would be if you added it.
The first one.
That would just be a mob. There wouldn't be much programming, yeah. Be like, dude, what if?
Like, how
So,
quickly would that descend?
There was a link at the
That's-
top of
that's
that
the
documentation that went to WTF forums. Go to that because that's the original. Flask WTF is
Okay, yeah,
integrating
yeah.
with Flask and
Yeah.
WTF. So we go to the original documentation and we should find it in there.
Yeah, that's a good point. This is the wrapper library to connect Flask and WT forms. What we're probably looking at now is an actual piece of WT forms, the basic library.
So, again, we wanna look for fields, not for form. Form is the data type, field is how we will specify what kind of data goes where.
Basic fields? That sounds right.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool,
Yeah.
let's try it.
It might be basic, it might be convenient, who knows?
Yeah.
I think it's.
Two basic fields.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Let's try basic first.
Yeah, it's in basic fields. I'm looking at it right here. Password field, integer field.
If you do Command F, you can actually search the entire page.
Well,
and
it's
then type
only inside of basic fields. They're all alphabetical. And then there's select field.
in, or you can go right there.
Select field.
Choices.
Choices.
Choices is a
Choices.
list of strings.
And they made a verb
A
out
list
of
of
it.
interesting. Oh, they have. So choices looks
Value
like.
and label.
Oh,
Yeah,
choices is a
So what
It's
you
an
want to
array.
database and what you display to your user.
Yep.
Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah.
So
The second
convenient.
one is
So
what
when
you
they
display
select
to
C++,
your user.
we get CPP.
Wow,
When they
that's so
select Python,
convenient.
we get PY.
Yes.
That's so convenient. Wow.
It's basically
And
copy.
note that a Unicode staple that's into on the
Yeah.
color.
Only
file.
five.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
This is
So
unique.
If it makes me.
Yeah.
what's our
Everything's Unicode Python.
So what kind
what's our
of-
database
What
schema?
colors do we want to be our options?
Red, green, blue, yellow. Just pick a couple.
Those colors that only interior designers know, heliotrope, goldenrod.
Need to add a closing. Yeah, when you did the select, it got rid of the closing.
All right.
Apostrophe.
Bone,
Eggshell.
Eggshell.
Gotta have eggshell.
And what's the color? Nobody knows. Eckroot. What the hell color is
Eckroot?
This one.
Is it spelled like equine?
It's like real
I think
data
it's
structures
ECR.
like hashes instead of what that is.
Wow.
A list
Don't
of
forget
doubles.
heliotrope.
Heliotrope.
Why are they using a list of totals?
It's a yellow, it's the one that's in
Because the first value is the value, and the second one is blank.
I understand technically what is
It's not the
happening.
name.
Why did they choose that when they know they don't have
It's
symbols?
considered to be the worst color.
They were
ever.
drunk.
I think there's a few.
They were dropping that.
They were drunk.
Yeah, it looks like when it's doing,
Symbol
it looks
the
like as Python.
So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's all right.
So,
Let's save this. And if we go to views.py,
stuff like,
or,
this is,
yeah, if we go to
this
views,
is my model.
And then just
yeah,
say.
so there, and then in there, no, the, open the folder again, and then,
Oh,
yeah,
so-
add it in. So now we just add form.color.data into, yeah, so add it. No, as, yeah, so we have form.name.data, now we have a comma, because if add new Pokemon can take both a name and a color, so now we have,
Andrew's close by the one for
Space
It is a lot of
Decide for
Wikipedia
you
and
what
stuff.
Yeah, so let's
Grayish.
cross our fingers and hope this
So
one
like,
works.
if you have a field
Ecru,
that
now,
column
the color
that
on
you
which
know,
the-
Oh.
or like,
No, there's one thing we need to do still. I think we need to go
So
into
tell us,
our,
You have
to
to,
settle
you
down.
have to tell it what kind you want.
I
We need
think
to go into the-
to our HTML file.
Oh, right, and add it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to do something
Add
here.
Yeah, 'cause right now, yeah,
Totally.
exactly.
also a good
key
one.
value,
So,
symbol
not to be-
pairs,
it sh-
because
I
it's
think it should just be, form, yeah, so it's gonna be form.color.label. We probably just copy and paste that line from the top to make it easy.
I want to type it to feel what it feels like.
What?
Label?
So it should just be form.color again. I think the size is going to be similar. It's just going to say how wide we want our drop down to be. So we can see if that's actually the case.
Okay.
So
Moment of truth.
let's try it. Hey,
Wow.
that's
It didn't size right, but it's got the right idea.
it's interesting.
Can you click one
Our
of them?
layout's kind of weird. That's probably like a CSS thing.
Well,
Integrity error. Ooh, integrity errors.
Heat constraint.
Is it?
I think it does like
oh, we've already added snake face into our
Yep,
database.
yep.
So yeah, so we just need to change the name to something new. Okay, guys, new Pokemon name.
No, that's a real name, you can't do that.
No, we can't. No. Copyrighted. Copyrighted. Trademarked.
The
Can't do it.
DMCA takedowns will be
Hey,
fly.
hey, did anyone trademark Squirrel yet?
Sequel
We could do Squirrel. Or SQL world.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah, there's an
Oh, I was listening to you, that's why
There's a
I
sequel
that's
GUI
why I
called
said it.
Squirrel.
Yeah. Hey,
There's a mail client called Squirrel. There's Squirrel is extremely popular.
There's also an authentication and security protocol called Squirrel.
Oh,
They use QR codes. So the QR,
I like that.
like secure QR, and then the L stands for something.
And I think you should be bubblegum. So let's make them bubblegum.
Okay.
So SQLRR. Go!
Squirrel. Let's do it.
Squirrel.
Success!
Okay.
Yeah, browse there.
Yeah, so let's go for Squirrler.
Yep.
Squirler. Sequeler.
It's more sequel than sequel.
And if it worked, our color should be something other than not specified.
Alright. Ego. That Ego would be in trouble with the
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's great. Let's commit that.
So, what is formatting? How are we going to fix that?
Let's.
If you want, like,
We
I
can
think,
take a
like,
look. The next person who comes up, we can actually
sentence.
look more into what's going on with
Like,
the
so you have
template.
that, and like, it's basically
But
sort of like meaning
this is
we have to
good.
be the survey data, you could have already had that in your database translated, kind of thing.
That's not how you would actually.
You know, maybe the
Yeah,
size
Flask
equals
do-
20.
I don't know.
Oh.
Make it pop down so far.
Oh, yeah, that would do.
Right. What if we get before we commit, get rid of size equals 20, just have it be empty.
From the,
Just remove size equals 20, so it's empty parentheses,
Actually, you're gonna have to write.
and save that and reload the web page.
because I think it all.
Where's the reload on this?
It-
This?
Or you can do Command R.
Use case, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Perfect, all right.
Cool.
Whereas like if you could enter in.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Now let's commit to that.
That's gonna say we're not ashamed
Now I would commit things were shameful. No.
That's called work in progress.
That is.
Yeah.
This is turning.
This is for,
Yeah,
It's a
this
lot
is
of fun.
the, like.
So who wants to go up
Just,
next?
like, pretty solid there, and then just want to put something out that works, and then like.
Whoa.
on
Oh,
the
the
front,
window
it's
without my
like-
glasses. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
but-
I'm scared.
But they'd be fine for that giant text box.
Forgot my glasses.
Okay, so we have, that's just working. What do we want to do now?
So what do we want to add to this application now? We have a database, we have an API, we have a form.
We can insert Pokemon, retrieve Pokemon.
What if we want to display all the Pokemon we have?
That's true. We might want to create a view to list them.
Let's actually make the website look good.
Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
No.
Slow your roll.
Good isn't not. We're not dealing with CSS.
Okay, we're just gonna okay, we're gonna set bundler. Excuse me. You get- get-
Inline style, yeah.
We're gonna get Bootstrap in here. Bootstrap 4 Alpha.
Oh.
Why don't we try?
CSS with Flask is not a nice.
At least use Bourbon.
Why don't we try
That's what
adding
happens when you
a?
mix pairs now.
Let's try adding our boilerplate header kind of
Yeah, good thinking.
like basic website
Here's
code.
the best part.
So it's going to be in templates. Why don't we call it base.html?
Do you have a right click setup on this?
It's two fingers.
Wow, that's obnoxious. All right.
You can also option click.
Yeah, so let's call it base HTML. Like base.html.
That's awesome.
And
Except for beta.
I forget the exact wording on this, so yeah, so
Is there any kind of like boilerplate for this?
yeah, well that's what we're doing.
That is.
No, what I mean is like, is there like a basic minimal? Or I can just do this. Yeah.
Try call it whatever.
I mean, we could probably put some passive value in here.
Well, yeah, we
Yeah, let's do it later.
Yeah, let's just give it a static title for now. There are ways to get Flask Mob out of there, like flaskmob.name, something like that. But
Now let's see. If I recall correctly, we want to put in something here to include the actual page layout, correct?
yes, let's check the documentation. I know for a fact that we have to surround it using caret braces, percent signs, but I don't remember what goes in the middle. And we should look on Jinja2 documentation.
Wow, the URL bar is like unreadable. Anyway,
It's because it's so small because it's scaled up for the projector.
That's why.
okay.
Do command plus, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what we're doing. This first block.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. So what's going on inside this code? Jinja2 uses two primary code containers. The first one that you see on the top line there is our curly braced percent sign, which are commands to Jinja2. And on the fourth line, double curly braces is Python code.
Yeah.
That's what we were using earlier,
Yeah.
so that we could reference form.name.dev. What we need.
So we want to make a block then, correct?
We'll need to make a block, but this actually this is the. I saw something else. Was there something else that came up if you go back? Because that actually seemed a little more pertinent to what we were doing. Yeah. So this extends.
Yeah, but you have to create a, you have to put a, if I recall correctly, you have to put a place to put a block in your layout file, and then you extend the layout in the other template.
Yeah. So,
okay. So
in our base HTML, we're going to use that %sign block and then call it body.
I don't suppose you have Ginger 2 highlighting available.
I don't think it's there.
Never mind. Okay. We'll do it the hard way. I can't hit shift apparently. Let's see what.
Yeah, so it's just block body.
Just making sure.
Yeah, so body is just a label.
Yep.
And then end block after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
And that means that now we need to do a couple things. We should change this to use the block.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to do extends.
First we should find the block, as I recall. And we called it body, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be inside of extends.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're specifying block body. Yeah. And it extends based on HTML. And we check back. I don't know. Yeah, it has to be indented.
It actually probably needs to be indented.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be indented. Exactly. It does need that extra.
Oh yes. Yep. Good spot.
And then I think it needs an end extends. Double check on what that is on the end block. No,
nope.
It doesn't need extend at all.
I think extend just includes it in place.
Yeah.
And since we're doing the block anyway, the block should do all the positioning.
Yeah. So this should be everything that we need.
Let's see what happens when we try this now, just to see what happens. And let's see. This is our form. Okay, that still worked, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, and if you, we could inspect the HTML,
yep.
But I can tell you that it worked already because it has page title in the tab.
Yep.
And that's really the only thing that we
Wow, no, I did not mean to do that. Okay, open your email client. Sorry.
No, my email.
What does Safari map inspect to?
Just there.
Yeah, I know, but I like the keyboard shortcuts.
I don't remember.
I don't ever use Safari. Yep. That's our template. All right, sweet.
So that's good. I'm going to let other people talk this through. How do we want to change our index page to use our template now, our base HTML? Because we have it going for the form, and technically, our Pokemon form is just kind of a self-contained web page right now. In theory, you'd have Pokemon form as just a block of text that you would include in index.html or submit.html, and you would include form here.
But this is fine for now.
Yeah. No, we did
Well,
it.
let's see it.
Yeah, we just did.
Oh.
Let's see it again.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's see it again.
Yeah.
So we added in all the proper
Okay.
head information and all that.
I don't think I can zoom this window, unfortunately. Oh, no, I can't zoom this window. All right.
The only visible difference on the web page is that we changed the title in the tab.
So do we want to tell people what they're inputting a name and a color for?
That might be a good idea.
That'd be something we put in the form.
Yep.
Like maybe on the base.
Do we want to put something in the layout for like making the putting the
in the base? What we could add an H1 tag that says Flask Mob, and any template that extends base to HTML is going to have that H1 header at the top of the page.
Yep.
Now we're entirely too fancy.
Now we're gonna do real fancy. We're gonna put in HR.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Look how fancy this is.
Dang.
That's
Hey,
how you fund them.
how about we retrieve, I don't know if this is like,
You want to do list all the Pokemon.
let's retrieve the top 10 and display them in a table on our index.
It's a crazy idea, but I think we should do it.
The top 10? What about all the other lonely Pokemon?
If we want,
Maybe
we
a
can,
random 10.
we can add random 10 or we can add pagination.
Ooh, I like that.
I ran into this problem. I tried to display like more than 10 of the last. I built an F that tracked the 10, and so it would display more than the last 10, and you get off the screen very quickly. So it's like, do you want the entire Pokédex there, or do you just want like a snapshot, I guess, of examples?
For now, we can just get a list of Pokemon and then we
I
can.
mean,
Yep.
how many do we have in our database so far?
We have like 3.
I don't think it's a problem yet.
Yeah.
This is gonna blow up, Devin. Like this is gonna
Yeah,
be the next big
Let's
thing.
take care of that in a minute. So,
Do you know that the Iron actually controls the next big thing?
What was this called next picture?
This place.
This place we're in.
Well,
Well,
was
not this one specifically, because they changed it. About the- Yeah.
let's add a new template called index.html. Or do we want it to be a new endpoint, like Pokemon.html? Or list.html, something.
If I go to Pokemon.com, I want to see some Pokemon.
Okay, then let's add index.html.
I can type, I promise.
So in our no, we want that. Where are sorry, we switched over to index.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
Copying our boilerplate.
Yeah, so in here, let's ignore this for now. We need to actually do the fetching first.
Okay.
And we'll come back to this once so that we can add the code into the display. Trying to make that happen. So we're doing this as our index, so we can get rid of hello cloud. Bye. Hello cloud.
Yep.
That's my contribution.
Okay, put. Send this away. All right.
So who remembers where the database is located?
You got something, right?
So
That sounds plausible.
DB is in Flask Mob. So from Flask Mob, import app, comma, DB. And this is common to all our files. That's why it's in there. So when this person loads this web page, we need to have a list of Pokemon.
I think so.
So we can do, I forget the exact syntax, but it's going to be something like Pokelist equals.
Should we write this as a method in our API and call that here rather than writing it in place?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I support this decision.
All right. So then adding a Pokemon, we can get Pokemon, and maybe it has a parameter that says num equals 10 for a default value. That sounds good.
I like it.
Yeah. So in here we have it's going to be db dot Pokemon. So we'll. Oh no, I guess it's just going to be Pokemon. So this top thing, if you look in our def get, result equals Pokemon dot query.
Yep.
We don't have to do filter by, so we should just be able to do Pokemon dot query dot first 10, or in this case first num, and that will get us the first 10 Pokemon from our table.
Like this?
Yeah.
All right. Do we need to do anything else with that?
No, I think you need to do return as list. There's something like that. Does someone want to look that up in the documentation? There's a thing that you have to convert it into a list of things. Like could be return results as list, like results dot as list parentheses. No. Two.
It's not giving us any hints.
Would first just return one?
Oh yeah. Maybe. SQL alchemy.
Yeah, is there like a limit or something?
Yeah,
maybe?
limit is.
So is when you click it, when you type L, is there a limit that comes up? No, so it's not a function.
Nothing comes up when I type anything after this, so I don't know if please not helping you here.
So this is the to not make the lender freak out. SQL alchemy, I had to for pilot.
Yep.
So we're not going to get any autocomplete for SQL alchemy.
Oh, we're flying blind on SQL Alchemy.
We are.
It says there is a limit method.
So query dot limit num dot all. Yeah, so then dot all parentheses.
Like so?
Yeah. Yeah, so that should that returns a list.
I think because then when you do all, it calls it.
I think what it does is it returns a list of query objects. I think there should be a function that converts a list of query objects into a list of no, that might work actually. Yeah, because we had result up there and we just took out the dict to do it normally. So we might just be able to do return results, and then there's a better way to get the actual we might have to do like four results in like
We don't need to return the JSON file because we're going to be doing other processing on it in this here, right?
All returns.
So yeah, all returns all of them.
All
Let's
return
return results right now, because I think everything else that we have to do is going to be handled.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
In our template.
The rest we'll do over here.
Most of it. So if we go back to our views, yeah, so we should just be able to do Pokemon equals. Oh, we need to import the.
And we'll just leave it there because 10 is fine.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there. Now, I think all we need to do is return render template. We give it the template name, which is index. Now, the other thing that we haven't covered yet is on the bottom up there, a render template for our form. We did form equals form. What this does, when we specify keyword arguments in render template, it's saying that inside my template, when I have my Python code snippets, when I reference form, it means that form object. So
that's what we're referencing in the HTML.
Yep.
Exactly. So we can do Pokemon equals Pokemon, and inside of our index.html template, we can just reference Pokemon, and it's referencing the object at the time.
Yep.
And that would be in the template style reference.
Exactly. So,
See, if I recall,
here
we had something in the docs that talked about that.
Yeah, so in the Jinja2, you can see
Oh
that
yeah, there we go.
in users, we would do for Pokemon and Pokemons.
Okay.
Nice and easy.
And we create a new list item in li, whose values we pull out from in our double
corresponding list in Python.
Exactly. Perfect. So I think it's endif, or no, endpoint. It also will do if statements. So for each thing, Pokemon.name .data. It's .value or something like that. It's not data because that's form. It might be name. Let's see what happens.
Let's just try this first and see what happens.
Pokemon.color, and then close li.
I think that's what you do for display. docs I saw specifically in form stuff like that, it was just Pokemon.name, and then in the Python calls, it had to access down into data.
Let's.
Should it really be Pokemons because after all, isn't it like deer, it's in our plural.
But in order to help distinguish it in trademark cases, Pokemons is a plural.
Okay. Right, that works.
All right, so let's see what happens now. And it will probably just explode, but let's see what happens.
How will it explode?
That's interesting.
That was a dull thud.
Up.
we go.
Oh.
Okay, our indentation got blown up somewhere. Hang on. In views, yeah.
4-app route.
Line 11.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah, I think there was a single space on there, but confused it. Anyway, that should be fine now. I think it was just.
But now I gotta relaunch this.
Yeah, so
What the? That was bizarre.
that's weird. Okay, let's launch this thing
Alright,
again.
refresh.
All right, flip again.
Alright, refresh.
Yeah, Command R.
Oh, sorry. I thought. Okay, it's Command Shift R. Is that it?
No, just Command R.
I'm hitting Command R.
And
There. Okay, now we're. All right, we didn't get anything, but
Oh, you get to iterate.
None of the Pokemon are available right now.
yeah, none of them are available.
They're busy.
Yep.
They have lives. Outside of
well,
your town.
let's.
Yeah, I know, they have Silo, right? You have to track the Pokemon.
Good point. Hang on a sec.
Exactly. You got
Oh, what is that?
What's in an empty list there? Should be.
One.
So,
Maybe I just screwed up the HTML. Let's see. Nope. Okay, that's empty.
Yep.
okay, so let's use our best friend print statements to figure
Oh, I
out
love
what
print
we want.
statements.
So probably the best place to do this would be in API because that's where we're actually
Okay.
fetching it.
Yep.
And let's just print results and see what comes up.
I don't
Yeah, so we need to go. We need to go back to the.
Let's try this and see what happens.
And reload this page. And go back to our console. Okay, so it's in there.
Oh, I think I run a process. When we set up the model, its representation is just this. If we want to get access to the other parts of it, we're going to need to return.
Well, representation is just how the object is printed out to the console.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all it is. Otherwise, it would have a list of those class Pokemon at object ID, blah blah blah.
You might want to check the template.
Yeah, it could also be a template.
Humor me for a second. Okay.
Yeah, so if we're getting the name value, that's right. So it's got to be. No, that. Like,
We already got the printer work, so we don't need to check if the print is working.
Yeah,
that's good.
like, this function is working.
So we have access to
I broke
those
something.
things.
Yeah, it's
No, we checked the name. We didn't check the color yet. I just want to voodoo my way. I'm still breaking things apparently. Thank you. It really does not like the up arrow key.
Okay, reload it.
There, just humor me for a second.
Yeah. So so that's working fine. It's just.
Yep. Okay. All right. All of that works, so I'll take this out.
Yeah. Okay. So let's look in index.html.
It's up still.
Yeah.
At the top.
Sorry.
Oh, did we call our list Pokemon instead of one?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry. I got
you
too
know,
fancy.
That's what bad grammar does
So
to you.
why don't we just do for Poke in Pokemon?
Yes. We'll do that.
Yeah, so it didn't give us an error, it just didn't know what Pokemon's was because we did Pokemon equals Pokemon.
And it did not crash, which I guess is a good thing.
But he did fail slightly.
There we go.
Hey.
Sweet.
All right.
Yay, let's commit this.
Yep. Do we want to do one thing for you? Do we want to make a link to the submit to the form on here so you can add a Pokemon?
We can do that quickly.
I just feel like we should do that so we have a full functioning application. You know how it is.
I would hesitate to call this a full
Yeah.
function.
What would be tied to if you would like to edit your Pokemon?
No, we're not doing that. Uh-uh.
You shouldn't change what the Pokemon are, just let them do themselves.
All right, is that it?
So the href
Yeah,
should just
it's
be
like your-
backslash
it's like
commit
typos,
or submit.
Yep.
Yeah, not commit.
That's a simple path. That should work.
Yeah. So
I mean,
reload
that's
the
like
page.
a real
click
Pokemon
it,
game. Like,
boom,
you
all right.
accidentally submit
Uh,
a name,
Let's
like,
let's commit
what
this.
that
Let's
name
commit
is
and
done.
push.
That's the name for that. Well.
That's why I make sure it's
you
working.
actually find the name change.
Okay, go back to index.
Yeah, like you have to get through a lot of games.
Yep. Okay, we're working. Fantastic.
Alright.
That's how you do it so that it just flashes
So-
those.
Character.
Added Pokemon list.
But I was thinking more like the ones where we didn't submit colors, then maybe you would want to eventually.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd want to edit route eventually, but you know, we don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, because we don't. We actually have to start getting out of here.
That's what I thought.
We're supposed to start getting out of here in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. All right. So it is 9:16. We've been at this for 2 hours, guys, and we went from a site that we had the scaffolding, we had an API endpoint and a database,
Yes.
to a fully functioning app where that has a user interface. Ooh. We're able, and we can use that to add Pokemon. We create a list. We looked at forms. We looked at templating using Jinja
I think we're ready for
2.
the first round of funding.
We are. So.
We will take that.
Yeah, we would like to hear if you guys want to do a third month of this. We can continue working on this, or we can look at a new topic next month, like another project like this. If you guys want to do mob programming,
Take it to Orlando for an end.
Yeah, just transfer this one.
yeah, this is yours now.
He needs a designer touch.
Yeah. So we can continue working on this. We can add things like localizations. We can do the flash messages,
Oh, I love I-18N.
those kind of things. Or we could start something new. We could look at doing some those practice sites.
I'd like to do some mob programming. I don't really care which
Have
one
you
we
guys
do.
ever done sites like Code Wars and Exorcism and stuff like that?
I've done an and exorcism.
So it sets you with
Team up.
Just why I'm here today.
with challenges that are things like, oh, okay, let's make a DNA translator method or whatever. But basically, what you're doing is you're writing some sort of complex method, and you're trying to write the code as cleanly as you can, and then you submit it, and then you can see what everybody else submitted that was correct. And so you can see how your code ranks up compared to everyone
So
else.
can we just do that on like my GitHub, just to add my resume?
So maybe some thinking challenges like that where we have to speed up, but
But I think we should definitely do another mob coding thing. It's very cool.
Yeah, this has been this is the most fun we've had in a long time.
Yep.
Not true. They're all fun.
Aww. Well, this is the best group because this is the group that's here.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
So
That includes you online people.
yeah, includes you. So so this code is pushed and it's up. This amazing user interface that we have. I want to quickly just show something off. I announced it last time, but if you go to flpy.org, we are organizing Florida PyCon here in Orlando. We have support from Python and data science meetups obviously here in Orlando.
Tampa, Gainesville, St. Pete, Daytona Beach, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami.
Wow.
For all of this. So we made sure it is that's all down. We have we'll get some. Yeah, this. So it's a very short URL. Please go to it. Take this survey that we have up. It's just an interest survey, so we have some numbers and how many people would be interested in speaking or sponsoring, kind of what people's backgrounds are. We have, last I checked, 52 responses in 3 days, and that was over a weekend.
He took the survey.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So depending on how many people come out, we're thinking it might fit into this building. We might have to go to a larger space, but we would love this to be an annual thing and a big thing and showing off the Python community, both here in Orlando and around the state. It'd be a lot of fun.
So take the survey, y'all.
Yes. Also, the site that you're currently seeing right now is a rendered Markdown file. So if you want to, we have it's an organization FLPY. I think it's just GitHub / FLPY. Awesome for short things that are open. And the site's open source. Anyone who really hates looking at a rendered Markdown file can make it look a little nicer.
Ironically, the site for the Florida PyCon has no Python in it right now.
Yeah.
Well, these things happen.
Just don't do it in PHP.
Yes.
Don't do that.
But yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be in Orlando. Oh, it's gonna be a weekend in October. It looks like the last weekend is out of the question, but that's right around Halloween, so not too surprised. So okay, that's good to know. So
not one of those.
Yeah. So we're paring down dates that this can happen on. It's and depending on the responses that we get, it's either going to be just a Saturday or it's going to be the weekend. First time doing this, so we are playing by ear, and we will have more to share when we do. Frankly.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
Congrats for
just wanted to let everyone know.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Hi. And I'm going to turn off the screen. Sorry for showing my email.
Only if it's boring.
It's up there forever now.
Yeah. Oh, and our static image is my computer's background image. Yeah. As opposed to showing the infinite window now when it goes back to the control. Okay, just for you guys, infinite window. Back to static. We're still getting the